Hey, it's Tom from Get the Net Guide Service. And for those of you who don't know, I do a little freelance writing for Gold Country Media. And right now I'm in the middle of doing a series on the golden mussel situation. The first piece came out a couple of weeks ago, and it features James Stone with the Northern California Guides Association and also local fishing legend Kent Brown. And that piece is their take basically from the angler boater side of the table, and efforts that are underway to encourage the different water agencies to hopefully cooperate on a standardized launch protocol for 2026. The next couple of interviews are going to be with water agencies to get their take. What has their experience been like so far, and where do they see things going? In a couple of weeks, one of the interviews is with the Solano County Water District. I'll probably upload the audio from that too. But this time around, it's Nelsie Rodriguez, and she is with East Bay Municipal Utility. And just a quick note, you are going to hear some background noises because when I recorded this interview, my only intention was I was going to write it up. But I did think the content was important enough that I'm sharing it in a longer form here. However, while she's talking, you can hear some background noises because I'm in my kitchen and I'm multitasking. I was listening too, but yes, you might hear some of that. Hopefully, it doesn't distract you. So here's Nelsie with the East Bay Municipal Utility District.
It was a really tough decision to close the boat launches it was actually first it was Camanche Reservoir, then Pardee and Reservoir and San Pablo Reservoir here in the East Bay. So three reservoirs where we have boat launches. Very tough decision because we do 100% support recreation and fishing, and the boating is a big part of that. But we had to make that decision because boating is one of the most likely ways that invasive mussels can move into bodies of water. So to protect, our priority is to protect the public water source and the environment. And so we had to make that decision. Over the course of, it's been, 7 months now since we made it. Well, actually, it was in October that we closed Comanche. So almost a year. It's been about 10 months, right? October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Yeah, 10 months. There's been a lot of research being conducted, and East Bay Mud has been contributing to the California Department of Fish and Wildlife's Golden Mussel Framework. So the effort on kind of standardizing the decontamination processes, the inspection processes, and all the research that is being done to see how this mussel is going to fare on this continent is really being led by the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, and East Bay Mud is contributing to that research. So locally, we have started eDNA sampling, that's environmental DNA sampling, which is kind of the most cutting edge research we have available at this time. And what it does is we're taking, samples of water and detecting the water for the DNA of the mussel, rather than, more or less innovative ways, as you actually have to kind of spot the mussel. We're of course doing mussel checks they're called condos, where we drop them into the reservoir, and then months later we pull them up to see if anything has attached to any mussels have attached to the condos. So we're doing that as well. But the eDNA is the newest technology and kind of the most advanced science that there is for mussel detection. So far, we have not detected any mussels in the environment in our reservoirs, so that is a huge win for us going forward. But we know that the fall season is when there can be a lot more detection because the villagers will have grown larger. So we're really keeping our eyes as wide open and focused as possible. This fall season is going to be really important in terms of detection. We're also, contributing to the CDFW, the detection map, so we're following that very closely, and we've been monitoring that. It looks like the mussel is spreading southward, which, it just, the spread itself is bad news for California. It's bad news for the West Coast. But we haven't detected it in our reservoirs, the East Bay's public drinking water. So that's good news thus far. We are for in terms of trying to provide more access, because we do recognize that boating and fishing is such a big part of people's lives. So what we did is we purchased almost a dozen more boats that are for rent by our concessionaire, and that's going to just, with the resources that we have now and with the knowledge base still building, it's one of the safest ways we can allow for boating in a safe way, in a way that will still protect our water and the environment, is to put just, brand new boats in the water that are managed by our concessionaire. So those are at Camanche Reservoir. We have, so we increased our boat fleet. We're still planting fish from reservoirs where we know that there has not been any detection. We are taking fish and planting them. So we're still hosting derbies.
So obviously, that is fantastic news. No mussels detected so far in any of the bodies of water overseen by East Bay Mud. What about private boaters? Is there a chance that we will be able to go back to launching on their lakes in 2026? It sounds like they're working in that direction, and they're trying.
In the background, while we're moving all this science and research forward, we are trying to develop a plan for reopening. At this point, we don't have the closure is set through the end of the year. We haven't yet made a determination on whether it will end at the end of the year, or whether it will need to continue, but we are developing that plan on how, if we are going to reopen, how we would do that safely.
So all of that sounds like we have reason for cautious optimism. But one thing I did bring up with her was the fact that while some agencies like theirs are really, really strict on protocols, some are not. And I think if you've gone to any other lakes this year, you've probably seen that as well. So if all of these agencies are going to cooperate, they need to all be on the same page as far as a final decision on inspection protocol. I just wanted to get her thoughts about that.
No, you bring up such an excellent point that water managers are all kind of we're all responsible for our bodies of water. And so East Bay Mud is in a position where we on behalf of our public, our 1.4 million people in the East Bay, we're managing these waters as a sole entity. But so many other bodies of water have joint stakeholders. So, and as you point out, there are some water managers that aren't doing anything in terms of inspection. Mm-hmm. So, yes, we in East Bay Mud, we took this conservative approach because we have hundreds of millions of dollars of infrastructure that convey this water to the East Bay from the Sierra Nevada foothills. We have to protect that. We have to protect the water and the infrastructure for our customers. We're paying for this every day. So, yes, it is. I definitely understand the frustration and the confusion, and it's been a hard operational time for us to put these closures in place. But it's the only way that we can minimize the real threat that this poses. And so, yes, one of the things that the framework is aiming to do, as East Bay Med, just one member of this framework, is trying to do, is standardize the inspection process, the decontamination process, the best practices for allowing boats into water without a high risk. But even recently, there are still boats that are showing up into water, or showing up to go into waters with live mussels on them. So the biggest thing that we all need to be aware of in the whole state is the standard of drain, clean, and dry your boats, no matter what body of water you're going into. If there is an inspection, if there is a launch open, take that step to make sure your boat is completely dry. There's no water hanging out in any of the sections of it. because that's the only way that, and, if the mussel gets in, it's already in the waterways. If it spreads farther, we're going to be dealing with this for conceivably for forever.
So there you go, guys. It sounds like going forward, we're going to have to deal with something forever. I think most of us would agree. We'd rather that be a standardized inspection protocol. I want to thank Nelsie Rodriguez with East Bay Municipal Utility District for telling us about everything that they're doing to mitigate the mussel danger. And by the way, she told me about a map that's really interesting. If you haven't heard about it, and it keeps track of where the mussels have been found in California, golden mussels. Go to the Department of Fish and Wildlife website and just do a search for their golden mussel tracking map. It shows where they've been found in the Delta. And in fact, they've been found as far south as Los Angeles County. So they are definitely a threat. They're definitely bad. And we definitely don't want them in our beautiful reservoirs. If you're still listening, wow. I don't know if this was of interest or not, but I feel like this subject matter is important enough to get a little more into detail than I can in a newspaper article. And my interview with Nelsie will be in the Gold Country Media newspaper group in another couple of weeks. And I have another one after that, and that's with somebody with Solano County, and they, of course, oversee Lake Berryessa. And they're kind of on the same page with her. They're cautiously optimistic that some kind of cooperation can be worked out among, if not all water agencies, then most or some. So last little note, 203, that's when I started clipping my nails, around the 203 mark. The interview with the Solano County person, I didn't clip my nails. In fact, I don't think there was any background noise at all. I wasn't fidgety. So thanks for listening. I hope this was beneficial, and later.